Hey y'all, just going to share for those of you that are still interested in trades and or in crypto and perhaps already have a Coinbase account set up. Um, this is a beauty. This is a flyer. This is a low float, very low float. In fact, it's the lowest circulating supply of tokens and market capitalization that exists on Coinbase, called Media Network. And I've been buying this for I don't know, a week or two, up to 12 bucks and change. Right now it's about 11.30, 11.40 per token. And as you can see on the screen, there's just this is from yesterday, I believe, a really nice descending wedge, which can be very bullish if it breaks above that blue top line. And in this particular case, the reason I'm even bringing this up is just because it could very well be like incredibly explosive. Um, in just November, you'll see with that big spike that this thing went from like $5 to over $80 a token in 2 days, because it's just such a small float. So when it gets triggered, technically, you're going to see people start to pile in. I don't think it's going to go that high again on this run, but I do see a very, like, it's going to be not difficult at all for this thing to double or triple once it breaks out, and to happen like quickly. So it's not going to be a long-term trade or investment for me, although I do have 1,000 of them socked away in my regular Coinbase account, and I'm just going to hold that long term. But because it is a interesting little earlier stage deal. But more so, I've got 4,700 of these I've accumulated, which is you know been done a couple hundred at a time, because it truly, if you want to buy a lot, you can't. You got to keep your limit orders in. I wouldn't go over 1225, 1250 maximum. And then I would keep a stop loss limit of maybe 10 to 15% downside risk. And you're looking at 200+% upside. I would call it at a 10 to 15% downside for 100 to 500% upside. And it could happen within hours to days, worst case, a couple weeks or something. But I'm not planning on this taking very long. So I just wanted to pass it along for those of you that, like these type of scenarios. Nothing that you're going to want to put, huge money into. You really can't without moving it up. It's a small deal, but, it's also one of those plays that I've had a lot of success on stuff like this, even during this bear market in crypto. There are always tokens that are moving and exploding and going higher, and some of them triple in a day, and it's much more common than in the equity markets. And this one, I just think it's a little gem, and the clock is ticking, and I've got a nice position. And so I wanted to relay that to a few more of you and see if anybody takes me up on it. If not, no big deal. I know it's not a core type of situation, but if you do have a Coinbase account, and if you got burned on the last bull market, it certainly is your fault. Because if you were around a while, since I've been, talking about buying crypto and then when to lighten up on profits, you certainly wouldn't have gotten smoked if you followed my guidance even close. So I've really had a great amount of success in this area, even though these tokens are now down 80, 90% in some cases, and Bitcoin and Ethereum. It does this all the time, every couple of years. It's a very cyclical, very volatile, very high risk, very high beta marketplace, and I love it. And here's one little flyer for you, and that's all I've got for you tonight. And yeah, I probably won't be. I'll maybe give one update on it, and that is just like if it starts to go. I mean, all I would say is, I don't plan to take any profits below, like, maybe I'll take a third of it off at like $19 or something, just to go ahead and get my risk reduced, because I do have a good sized position here. But after that, I'm letting it roll for 20, maybe 25 to 55, somewhere in there. And it, like I said, it could all happen like fast. I don't, necessarily see this as being like a little stagger step situation that's going to take months. So that's probably, a little bit of a loosey goosey target, but you can play it however you like. I think it'll be profitable. And if it's not, just cut your losses to no more than 10 or 15% and don't risk, obviously too much money. Have a good night.